What's going on, A to Z Sports? We are live for Titan Pregame Live, presented by X Golf Nashville and BetMGM. Sam Phelan and Jack Gentry with you with A to Z Sports here for a Week 5 divisional matchup between the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. Got some big storylines to talk about today, including the return of Jonathan Taylor, Peter Skoronski back in the fold for the Titans offensive line, and what's at stake in the AFC South. The winner of today's game between the Titans and Colts is now, in charge of things. They're taking control in the division. So a big game for the Titans, looking for that first road win of the season. I'm pumped up. Chat's pretty fired up. Jack, welcome in. Tell the folks what they got to do.
Absolutely. Big time game today. The Titans are in Indianapolis. We'll have a lot to talk about on this pregame show. But before we get into all of that, we want to hear from you guys. And in order to hear from all of you guys, we need to share the show. If you're watching on Facebook, share it to your Titans Facebook groups. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you have those notifications on by tapping the bell icon at the top of your screen. And finally, if you're watching on Twitch, that Titans, I know y'all are all a part of Titans text groups. You've been texting throughout the week. You've been texting this morning. Are you worried? Is this a trap game for the Titans? Do the Titans finally win 2 in a row? I know there's plenty to talk about. I know y'all have been talking about all of that in your text groups. Make sure you send this Twitch link to those text groups so we can grow this conversation, grow the audience, and really have a full show today. I'm fired up, Sam. I don't know if you can tell or not, but this is a massive game for the Titans, obviously, and something's got to give. We'll get into that later, but just make sure you share the show, and Sam, let's get this thing rolling.
Hey, let's do it officially. All right, welcome in. It's Titan Pregame Live, presented by X Golf Nashville and BetMGM. We are A to Z Sports. I'm Sam Phelan. He's Jack Gentry, and we got to thank all of our partners for today's show who are making it happen before today's game day. It's X Golf Nashville, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee. X Golf, play, train, entertain at xgolfnashville.com. The Mint Gaming Hall, home of big jackpots and big fun. 35 minutes north of Nashville, themintgaming.com. BetMGM, you can use the code A to Z 200 to turn a $10 money line wager into $200 in bonus bets instantly. An official partner of the Tennessee Titans, BetMGM. Law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, wherever justice demands, Tennessee Family and Criminal Courts in 35 counties in Middle Tennessee. AmandaJGentry.com. Chim Chimney for all your chimney needs. Chim-chimneyinc.com. Adventure Science Center. Explore and discover your full family adventure awaits at adventurecsi.org. And Jarrett Fire, HVAC, and Plumbing. Keep your facility comfortable and secure one inspection at a time. JarrettCompanies.com. Love our partners. Thank you to our partners. They're making this happen, Jack, as we dive in to some conversations about a big game for the Titans. I talked about it off the top. There's a lot at stake looking for this first road win because as you and I were kind of prepping for today's pregame show, when we dove into the AFC South standings, we noted whoever wins today's game, no matter what, will be atop the AFC South going into next week and will take first place. So, this division has been filled with parity. 3 teams at 1-1 in the division so far, and 4 teams at 2-2 overall.
Yeah, it's a big matchup. There's no doubt about it. And, looking at the Titans' schedule ahead of the season, it was hard to figure out how the Titans would be in first place early on in the season with just the gauntlet they were looking at. They've somehow managed to go 2-2. Now, it hadn't always looked pretty, but here they are with a chance to take control of the AFC South early on in the season. And, after that bye week, things really start to ease up when you talk about the quarterbacks and the offenses the Titans are going to be facing. So setting yourself up for success ahead of a London game next week against a tough Baltimore Ravens team, today's win would really go a long way for a multitude of reasons.
I think it's good for them, too, to build some momentum. We've kind of talked about this team and the roller coaster that they've been on so far. On the road, they've been at the lowest of lows. At home, they've been at the highest of highs and looking really good. And I think the Titans need to start stringing a couple wins together and looking like a more consistent team across the board. This is a big opportunity for them to do that, like you said, with a lot on the line in the division. Looks like Jacksonville's going to win against Buffalo in London. That's a big win for the Jags that I didn't really have penciled in for them at the beginning of the season. So some pressure is on for the Titans right now to kind of look like a good, complete team. And Jack, I think the biggest question mark about both of these teams heading into this week is some of the returning players that they're getting and what kind of impact those guys could have. The Titans are getting Peter Skoronski back on the offensive line. He should start at left guard today. Kyle Phillips is back and active, probably the punt returner, definitely at slot receiver. And then Jonathan Taylor makes a return to the Colts lineup at running back after getting his payday. Does that worry you at all that JT's making his return against the Tennessee Titans today?
Well, it has to, right? I mean, Jonathan Taylor's a running back that deserves respect. He's earned respect through his first 3 seasons in the league. He is coming off an injury, and it's pretty tough to reintroduce yourself to the game of football against the best run defense in the NFL that the Tennessee Titans possess. But looking into it, JT's really struggled against the Titans, and we'll get into some of those struggles here in a minute. But something's got to give today, Sam, because it's been 1,060 days since the Indianapolis Colts last beat the Tennessee Titans. Over 1,000 days ago was the last Colts win over the Titans. That's a long time. But for the Titans, it's been 325 days since they last won on the road. So something's got to give there. Looking at these rosters right now, it feels like the Titans have the edge. But this is a Colts team that surprised a couple of guys early. With Minshew back there, they looked good. With Anthony Richardson back there, he's looked strong so far, early on in his rookie campaign. But yeah, the returning players are the story here. Jonathan Taylor on one side just got that big deal. Skoronski on another side, where the Titans have really struggled to pass protect. And Derrick Henry, we've seen it a couple times. He's been getting hit behind the line of scrimmage almost as often as he has, in front of the line. So hopefully Skoronski's return makes an impact up front. But both teams are definitely getting a key strength back today.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor's very interesting because, I wonder how much of an improvement he really is going to be. I mean, he's definitely an upgrade from Zach Moss, but Zach Moss has run the ball pretty well. And the Colts have had a lot of success on the ground with Zach Moss back there. So if they already have a good rushing attack with Moss, what does it look like with Jonathan Taylor partnered up with a mobile QB and Anthony Richardson? And right now, chat is telling me, Jack, that the game is not over. Guys, I turned the game off to come in here and go live and talk Titans, and the Jags were up 2 scores with 6 minutes to go. So that was what I last saw. If that's not the case, forgive me. I can only go off the information I have available. What is the score now? Do we know that?
I do not know that, but whether or not the Jags win today, it's still, whoever wins this game is in first place. The Jags are going to face, look, this is part of their first place schedule. The Titans had to play the Bills the last few years. I mean, they know how tough those games are to win, but Jacksonville absolutely had an advantage staying in London for the entire week. That's a tough trip to make for anybody, but the Jags seem to have it down pat. Every time they play over there against the top team, it feels like they come out.
It's easy when you can stay and you're not jet lagged quite as much anymore. That might be a factor. See, we got chat coming in saying it is 18-13. Jacksonville leads Buffalo with 3:15 to go. The Buffalo defense trying to get a stop. But like you said, Jack, regardless of what happens in that game, even if Jacksonville were to win, they would be at 3-2 with a 1-1 record in the division. A Titans win today over the Colts would put them at 3-2 with a 1-0 record over the division. Good for first place. And a Colts win would put them at 3-2 with a 2-1 division record, also jumping them into first place. So whoever wins in Indy at Lucas Oil Stadium this afternoon is the temporarily on top of the AFC South. But let's dive in a little bit more to those returning players we talked about. Peter Skoronski potentially solving a big weakness for the Titans. Jonathan Taylor potentially taking a strength of Indianapolis and making it that much more dangerous and better. So our first question for you guys today, which returning player is going to have a bigger impact in week 5, Jonathan Taylor or Peter Skoronski? Which returning player is going to have a bigger impact in week 5, Jonathan Taylor or Peter Skoronski? Jack, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's a good question because both bring something, that their respective team has been missing. Now, the Colts have managed to run the ball pretty well, like you've mentioned, in JT's absence. They're averaging 115 yards per game on the ground. And, it kind of makes you scratch your head as to why the Colts decided now to pay Jonathan Taylor top dollar, right?
Completely different conversation. Absolutely insane. But wild.
because they had the leverage, right? I mean, you figured out that, okay, you can plug and play running back that can do some of the things that JT was doing. However, against the Titans, Jonathan Taylor through his career has played 5 games against Tennessee. The Colts are 1-4 in those games. Jonathan Taylor has averaged 49 yards per game on the ground. That is nothing. If the Titans can bottle him up like that, I think that it's a clear win. You win this game by multiple possessions.
Leslie's
on the other side.
Go ahead.
I was going to say on the other side, Skoronski helps a struggling offensive line. And we talk about NPF's return. He's back. He's not playing today. But with what's been going on the left side of the offensive line, especially at the tackle position, Skoronski can kind of help band-aid that issue, right? He can help with Dillard on the left side of the offensive line. The Colts are missing some key pass rushers today and some key guys on the defensive side of the ball, which should be a boost to this Titans offensive line that I thought played better last week. Now there's still some issues over there, and Dillard had a few bad snaps that almost got Tannehill and the gang in trouble back there. But I think, in my opinion, Skoronski is the player who's going to make the bigger impact in today's game. The Colts have been fine without Taylor running the football. The Titans without Skoronski, they've been an utter disaster. That Saints game was the only time we saw the Titans offensive line really put up a fight against a solid pass rush. But I think Skoronski, for that reason, is the bigger impact player from those guys that we just mentioned are returning today.
Leslie comes in backing Peter Skoronski. Shane says Kyle Phillips. Yeah, he is also returning, but we felt like Phillips probably an easy choice for like the third biggest impact of these 3 players. So we're gonna go ahead and compare, apples to apples instead of apples to oranges here. Jonathan Taylor from Steven, Skoronski from Jody, Taylor from Anthony, Taylor from Ethan, Skoronski from Billy Jones, Skoronski. We have Peter because of the O-line from Nick, Skoronski from MB, Taylor from Lone Walker, Peter Skoronski from Eric. I really hope Peter Skoronski, says Craig Baxter. Ken says Skoronski because they've always bottled up Taylor. I hope JT is rusty, says Craig. We have Peter from Michael Edwards. We have, let's see, people got a little bit distracted because the Jacksonville Jaguars scored a touchdown and now the game is over. But I have to go with Peter Skoronski. If this was a week from now, I'd be very worried about Jonathan Taylor. Not even really because of the running game, but because of what he can be as a pass catcher out of the backfield and how that could be beneficial for a guy like Anthony Richardson. And it really makes you make decisions, difficult decisions if you're a defense. There was a report from Diana Rossini earlier this morning that Taylor could be on a pitch count, perhaps, might be a little bit limited in what his workload is going to be like. Peter Skoronski is going to be out there in the trenches all game long. So I think his impact on the left side of the line is going to be huge. We talked last week and the week before about how important staying ahead in the down and distance is, getting into third and manageables, avoiding negative plays. And that really starts and ends with the offensive line. So Peter Skoronski is back. I think that's a good sign for Derrick Henry, a good sign for the Titans rushing attack, and hopefully a contributing factor in a Titans win today. Let's talk some other contributing factors here, Jack. And I want to get really quick over to the X Golf Nashville XFactor. Our question here, our next question for the chat: who or what will be the X Golf XFactor for a Titans win today over the Colts? Who or what will be the X Golf XFactor for a Titans win over the Colts? And got to tell you guys about our partners over at X Golf Nashville. X Golf has reinvented the player experience by creating the most accurate golf simulators on the market today, giving every person the power to take on the world's top courses, compete in a wide variety of game formats, improve their swing with lessons and superior analytics, all while being totally entertained. It's always 72 degrees and sunny and perfect golf weather at X Golf Nashville. It's got a full bar, great food, competitions, league play, lessons, corporate outings, social events, anything and everything at X Golf Nashville. And they have something for every level of golfer. You don't have to be a super serious golfer to go and have fun. You can go and mess around and play with the technology. It's a great destination for date nights. Seriously, check them out. Go to X Golf Nashville, the most accurate indoor golf simulator in the area and on the market today. X Golf Nashville, the home of indoor golf. Okay, Jack, we asked the fine folks here, who or what is the X Golf XFactor for a Titans win today over the Colts? What do you have your eyes on here?
Yeah, for me, it's gonna be a receiver for the Titans, and it's gonna be one that's really stepped up despite having kind of a limited role coming into the season. That's Nick Westbrook-Akine. Nick Westbrook-Akine has been Johnny on the spot for the Titans this season. Whenever you need to move the chains, whenever the Titans are up against it, it feels like NWI is always there to convert. You know, he's also from Indiana. Like he went to college in Indiana. He's a bit of a Colts killer. You know, he scored 2 touchdowns against the Colts, and this season he ranked second on the Titans in receiving yards, first in receiving touchdowns, second in targets, and second in yards after catch, only behind Derrick Henry. He's played well this season, and I think that everybody's going to be focused on D-Hop, right? D-Hop's had a solid start to his season as well. He's kind of breaking that narrative of the older receivers that come in, the old superstars, maybe a little behind their prime, that come into Tennessee. He's actually got the most catches on third down to go for first downs in the NFL this season. He's converted the most third downs as any wide receiver in the NFL this year. But I think it's going to be NWI. I think he's going to have a couple big catches. I think he potentially finds the end zone again today. He's got a knack for doing that against this team. So NWI, who's been Johnny on the spot for the Titans, comes up big once again with a big catch late in this game. I'm going NWI for my X Factor.
Yeah, interesting there because obviously like Hopkins has been very consistent. He's been what he's been. And you going with NWI over Chris Moore, why? Because I think they've both been impressive in their own right.
Yes. Well, it's just Chris Moore has been he's been really fun, averaging 33.5 yards a catch, but he only catches like 1 pass a game. Now, it's a huge play every time he touches the football, it seems like. But NWI is just more involved in the offense. He's out there more often. He touches the ball a lot more. Tannehill targets him a lot more. He trusts him a whole lot more. No pun intended with Chris Moore being the other guy we're talking about. But I think NWI is just more involved. So I have to lean him over Chris Moore. Although the big play potential, you can't deny what Chris Moore's brought to the Titans.
NWI has been great on those play actions. I actually kind of like that call. A little bit of Indiana flavor here today. We asked you guys who or what will be the X Factor for a Titans win today over the Colts. Leslie says DeAndre Hopkins. Alex says Tannehill. D-Hop from Yamahama. We've got Tajay Spears from Derrick Henry from Steven. Dane Cruikshank covering those tight ends is the X Factor that people forget. Tight end eraser is back and active on game day. I like that answer from Jake, actually. Let's see. We've got Vrabel's game plan for Anthony Richardson. D-Hop needing to go for 130 and a touchdown, says Jordan. Derek King Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, the defense, the running game, and play action. If the Titans win, it's because the O-line was good, says Lone Walker. Jack Gibbons and stopping the run. Yuri says Stonehouse punting. Quit it with this energy. Last time you guys were coming in saying Stonehouse was the X Factor, we ended up scoring 3 points against the Cleveland Browns in like the worst football game I've ever watched. I'm not acknowledging any more Stonehouse X Factor comments. NWI, Henry run game, Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Moore, Tajay Spears. A good variety here. Jack, I'm surprised more people didn't say my answer, which is containing Anthony Richardson's legs. Anthony Richardson is very, very, very unique. Defensive coordinator Shane Bowen said earlier this week that he can hurt you like Lamar, but runs more like Josh Allen. He is a challenge the Titans really haven't seen. And now you're going to get Anthony Richardson and Lamar Jackson back to back, but they haven't seen a guy like this in a very long time. We know that they've been able to win up front and get after the passer at a pretty good rate, but can you contain him, stay true to your rush lanes, and force him to play the position? I mean, Richardson has impressed me with how well he has been doing as a passer so far to begin his NFL career. But I still think that's your best chance at winning this game, especially with the lack of weapons the Colts really have on offense. So contain Anthony Richardson's legs. Don't let him run all over you. Don't let him extend plays. If you get home, tackle him. And then I think the Titans will be good, well off for it, and probably slow the Colts offense down a good bit.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm going to knock on wood here so y'all can't get mad at me in the chat. But it feels like every time the Titans defense goes up against a mobile quarterback, they handle themselves fairly well, whether it's Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, you name it. And to have Lamar Jackson next week, this is a great test to see where you are, what you need to fix facing a quarterback with the same skill set, essentially, as Anthony Richardson. So the Titans are in a good position here. If you shut down Anthony Richardson, and you force him to be a passer, I like your chances back there to create a couple turnovers. This Titans defense and secondary, they struggled to start the season, but I thought they put together a great performance against the Bengals. And I hope they can build on that. Hopefully that brings a little confidence to that group. And, everything is made easier on those guys with a solid pass rush. So if the Titans can put pressure on Anthony Richardson and force him to make some quick decisions, force him to make some quick throws, I think that's when Kevin Byard, Amani Hooker, Christian Fulton, Roger McCreary, Sean Murphy-Bunting, you name it, can come up with a big play in the secondary and really flip the tide of this game.
Yeah, so we've got Andrew saying not against Deshaun Watson they didn't. And, that's a great point from Andrew. And it's something I was also going to bring up is like the Titans didn't really struggle with allowing Deshaun Watson to run all over them. They just allowed Deshaun Watson to extend plays. And
explosive passes. Amari Cooper was downfield open all the entire 60 minutes.
Well, but a lot of that was because they weren't sacking him. They probably had 3 or 4 sacks in that game that they could have had if they would have just brought him to the ground. And Watson ended up, he's very difficult to bring down. That's something Arden Key talked to me about earlier this week in the locker room was like Richardson, like Deshaun Watson, very physical pocket presence. You have to make sure you're finishing your tackles. So, that is just as important, right? Like the rushing yards for Anthony Richardson, you want to limit those. You also want to make sure that he's not, breaking outside of the pocket, having a defensive breakdown. Now Christian Fulton and Sean Murphy-Bunting have to cover for 7+ seconds, on the receivers, and you end up with some busts downfield. So it all kind of goes hand in hand, but what can that sneaky athleticism do to this defense? Something they didn't see in Joe Burrow last week.
It's a great question, and I'm interested to see. This is probably what I'll be watching for mostly in the first half is, are the Titans aggressive in their pursuit? Are they aggressive in getting back in the backfield and hitting Anthony Richardson? Or are they gonna play kind of conservatively and just contain and make sure he doesn't bust that big run, bust you for a big play? I want to see how the Titans front 7 pursues Anthony Richardson early on.
All right, let's move on here to our bingo card. This is the bingo card powered by our partners at the Mint Gaming Hall. And our question here for you guys is, what's coming off the bingo card today? What is coming off the Titans bingo card today versus the Colts? Going to leave that up there for just a couple more seconds so you guys can get a sense for what you're feeling. And then want to tell you guys about those partners. The Mint Gaming Hall. The Mint Gaming Hall is located just 35 minutes north of Nashville on I-65. They've got gaming, food, entertainment, and fun. You can sign up for the Players Club, which is free, for a chance to win up to $1,000 in free play. This month's Player Club members can play $250,000 mega ball draws, match all 6 numbers, and win up to $250,000. You can stop by the center bar to watch the game on the big screens. You can grab a burger at the Corner Cafe or a frozen drink at the Oasis Bar. So we've gone over bars, places to watch the game, great burgers, great gaming. It's the Mint Gaming Hall. It's 35 minutes north on I-65. It's the spot to go watch a game, whether that's Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, or a Titans game day on a Sunday afternoon. That seems like it would be a lot of fun, and there's plenty of free parking. That is the Mint Gaming Hall, over 1,000 ways to win. Here's our bingo card for the afternoon, and the question, what's coming off here? Jack Gentry, what are you checking off at the end of this game?
Well, you hope to get that top row, that GT, the road victory. You haven't won on the road in 325 days, like I mentioned at the top. So it's been a while since the Titans have been able to find the win column away from home. But I really think that could happen today. I think that Derrick Henry for 150 yards, that's a possibility today as well. He's had some success against the Colts. He averages 92 rushing yards per game against Indianapolis throughout his career, and that is not a small sample size. That's in 14 games against the Colts. He's averaging 92 rushing yards per game. So I think he's got a shot for 150 if he can hit that home run that we haven't really seen him hit yet. So those are the 2 that I have my eye on.
All right, we get to go to the chat here. We got division win from Nate's burner, and yeah, that's down there too. So if we get that road victory in TG, we're also going to get the NN division win as well. So Nate's burner comes in wanting a division win. We got division win from Alex, a Hopkins touchdown, I hope, says Billy Jones. Defensive touchdown, JQ thinks. A road win. Chig touchdown, D-Hop touchdown, D-Hop touchdown, Chig touchdown, D-Hop with over 100 yards, a road victory and a Chig touchdown. Chig touchdown, road victory, and Aziz turnover. Matthew Johnson calling a shot. He's feeling a special teams touchdown for the Titans. Jared likes Derrick Henry, 150-yard game. Craig Baxter wants a Kevin Byard interception. Ethan says a DeAndre Hopkins touchdown. Shane's also on the wins with the Chig touchdown. Kyle Phillips touchdown. Jameson thinks KP's getting in the end zone in his return. Jack, the chat stole my thunder here because I like the road victory. I love the division win. I think the Titans are going to win this game. I like Derrick Henry to score, although that's not a that's not a check here. It was my pick on BetMGM for this week, but I got a weird feeling. I think we're getting the Chig touchdown. We got Josh Wiley last week. Give me Chig Okonkwo to get in the end zone today. So road victory, division win, Chig Okonkwo touchdown. That's what we've got on our Mint Gaming Hall bingo card coming off the board.
Real quick, I want to get to Anthony Ham. He's doubting me. He says, be realistic, Jack, with an offensive line 150? Are you kidding me? Well, let me tell you, Derrick Henry had a lot of success against the Colts last year behind a worse offensive line by most measures. He ran for 114 yards and 1 touchdown in their first meeting, and the second time they saw him, he had 128 yards on the ground. So this Derrick Henry can absolutely get it done no matter who's in front of him, especially against the Colts defense. It's going to be without Shaq Leonard. That's going to be without some really key players up front. So, 150 is realistic.
All right, time to wrap it up here. We need predictions. Everybody drop your predictions. Who wins, Titans or the Colts? The Titans are minus 2.5 point favorites in this game. So who wins? We need your score predictions for everybody in the chat here today. And while you guys do that, I'm going to tell you about our great partners. If you're getting in on that minus 2.5 action, BetMGM. BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Use the bonus code ATOZ200 to turn $10 moneyline wager into $200 in bonus bets instantly. BetMGM, an official partner of the Tennessee Titans. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only, new customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789. Ooh, kind of torched the BetMGM read today. Let's see those predictions. I'm going to the chat. We've got 24-17 Titans, 24-17 Titans, 20-17, 31-20, 63-3 from Nate's burner, 24-14, 23-13, 24-20, 28-17, 19-17 Titans win, says Luman. 24-21, says Ruben. 36-24, 34-14, 27-20. 28-21. A lot of Titans wins in the chat. Jack, What do you got? What's your final score?
Well, I agree with them. I think the Titans are going to win today. I think that they're going to snap a long drought on the on the road, as I cough right there. And I think the Titans win handily. I think that the Titans put up 31 points. This is a Colts defense that ranks in the bottom third of the NFL against the pass and the run. The Titans win 31-14.
31-14, Jack.
31-14. Look, this offense was rolling last week against Cincinnati, and Lou Anarumo, who's a much better defensive coordinator than what they're going to see against the Colts today. That little bit of confidence, combined with the return of Skoronski, combined with the return of Kyle Phillips, who can kind of get you some of those nitty-gritty yards, I think the Titans put up over 30 today. So, 31-14, the Titans roll.
I don't think they're going to put up over 30 points. I think they are two run game heavy in this game. I think Derrick Henry is going to have himself a heck of a game, but I do think that means the Titans are going to eat up a lot of time, similar to how they did in the second half of that game against Cincinnati, like 8+ minute drives, and we'll see a little bit less scoring. So I'm going with a 20-13 win for the Tennessee Titans, and just a nice old-fashioned Mike Vrabel win on the road, 20-13. That is my final score. We're a couple minutes from kickoff here, so we are going to you got something to say real quick?
I'm keeping receipts. on all the people doubting.
Fine.
30 points is happening.
31 points is, we'll see. All right. Maybe it's hot takes exposed later. We'll see.
I'm writing y'all's names down.
All right. Well, all right. We're going to get out of here and go and watch kickoff, watch this game. We'll be back at halftime and post game. Jack and I reacting to everything. So make sure Halftime show starts. You turn on A to Z Sports and get our reaction. Same thing with the post game. Want to give a quick shout out once again to all of our partners before we get out of here. Law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, X Golf Nashville, the Mint Gaming Hall, Chimney, Adventure Science Center, and Jarrett Companies. They are powering this and making this happen. So we love our partners. Let's tighten up. Let's lock it in. We'll see you guys back at halftime. Peace out.